Have you ever stopped to think about what really happens inside a classroom or, any training session? It feels like it should be simple, but it's actually way more than just a lecture. Turns out there's this powerful, kinda invisible framework at play. Today, we're going to look at a super simple model that's honestly going to change how you see education forever. Let's dive in. So we usually think of education as this one-way street, right? A teacher has all the knowledge and they just pour it into a student's head, like filling up a cup. But is that really all it is? Just memorizing a bunch of facts? I think we all know that view is missing something huge, the actual interaction.
Yeah, the reality is that education is a living, breathing thing. It's not a straight line from A to B. It's more like a complex, three-way dance. And if we want to understand that dance, we're going to need a better map.
And that map, my friends, is the didactic triangle. It's this brilliant little model that helps us visualize the whole thing. So instead of that boring straight line, it frames education as a triangle where everything is connected and everything influences everything else.
Okay, so what are the three corners of this triangle? Each one represents a fundamental piece of the puzzle, a pole in the educational process. Let's break them down. First up, you've got the teacher. This is the person who guides the whole process, right? They're the ones picking the methods and steering the ship. Then you have the learner. And this is key. The learner doesn't just receive information, they actively help construct it. And finally, of course, there's the knowledge itself, the subject, the material, the whole reason we're here. But here's the thing. The corners are really just the beginning. The real magic of this model, the part that makes it so useful, is in the connections between them. Those are the sides of the triangle. This is where that whole dynamic network of relationships comes into play.
Okay, check this out. We have three core relationships. The first is pedagogical. That's the line connecting the teacher and the learner. Think of it as the human connection, the rapport, the trust. Then there's the didactic relationship. This one connects the teacher to the knowledge. It's all about how the teacher chooses to present the material. And finally, you have the learning relationship, which is between the learner and the knowledge. This is where the student really grapples with the ideas and builds their own understanding. Now think about this. What happens if one of these connections breaks? Say the pedagogical link is weak. The student doesn't trust the teacher. Well, it doesn't matter how brilliant that teacher is or how great the material is. The whole system just falls apart. So we've got the corners and the lines connecting them. Cool. But so what? Why does this simple little triangle actually matter? What does it really tell us about learning? Well, here's the biggest takeaway. If you change just one part of this triangle, the entire thing changes with it. Bring in a different teacher, and they'll present the same knowledge in a completely new way. Put a different group of learners in the room, and they'll interact with that knowledge totally differently. It's a living system where every single piece is constantly pushing and pulling on the others. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly sums up what the didactic triangle shows us. It's not about a static, one-way street. It's a living, breathing interaction, a dynamic dance between the teacher, the learner, and the knowledge itself. So I'll leave you with this. The next time you find yourself learning something or teaching something, try to picture this triangle. Think about those 3 points and the relationships between them. How does seeing it all as a dynamic system instead of just a straight line change the way you think about that experience? It's something to chew on.